Hi people, my name is Ruben Lubbes. I'm one of the people who's working on FreedomBox, and yeah, nobody was coming here for this year, so I thought, let me do it. I'm again not a coder, I'm not even a slideshow maker, so you can see that maybe later on, because I've got really good slides like this one. Yeah, that is the main slide to me. So the idea for me with FreedomBox was I came here to FOSDEM 2011, and there was Eben Moglen with this speech, why political liberty depends on software freedom more than ever. It's in 2011, and the strange thing is I watched it yesterday again to prepare, and I was like, oh man, this could have been just today. And the things that he talks about are really very interesting. So if you ever have some time left, try to watch that video again. Back to the main slide. FreedomBox has came into existence because people have no real option for security and taking things into their own hands, except for people like the projects that are presented here. And I've seen a lot of people saying like, but there is no way to do this. Well, there are a number of ways that are halfway finished or just begun. But we've been working on this for a long time, and our idea is to have a small box that you can buy cheaply, just like a Raspberry, but then most likely even more free. So there is the Olimax from the people downstairs, and the Beaglebone from Jason Kurtner and his Beaglebone Foundation. They have really open source hardware, not only the software. And we are Debian pure distribution. The idea about that is you want to keep everything Debian. So when a release comes up, everything that can be included has to be part of Debian as well. Well, so this time the freeze is just about to start. So as a principal, I can tell you, no thank you, we cannot use your work. No help needed. There's just one bug that has to be done for the release of the new stretch, and for that we're done. We've added translations, we have a pretty okay set of tools, but from there on, after stretch, there will be Buster. And from there on, we can have a lot of fun making new tools and build out the foundation that we have built. So on that, we do need help. So we now have the we will be in Debian Stretch. This will be the first time that as a Debian pure distribution we will be included. And the other parts that are needed to use it as a tool for yourself are available now. We have the things to do with it, and the small machines are really cheap at the moment. So the next steps will be adding new tools, most likely from Debian. And we now have a blog, we have the voice telephone, video telephone, XMPP, well, most of the things that you would expect from a project like this. And it is all runnable from these small boxes, but there is a lot of tools that are already in Debian that are not used by the project yet. And there is a lot of things that can be included outside of Debian that are not even considered by most of the projects here yet. For instance, I personally would like to see something like KA Lite, which is the offline version of Khan Academy, which normally gives you a lot of education, but informs a lot about your learning process to big data, which is none of my interest, and I don't think they should be looking at my learning curve as well. So This has not been used by any of the host it yourself projects, as far as I know, but I personally think it would be very interesting to add that to the normal curriculum, because it's not just being able to use the code that's made by everybody, but it's also improving yourself and improving your knowledge about the world, so you can participate in a broader way. And also what people keep telling me is it needs things like theming. By now we're just using a Debian website to control this, and a Django website with Bootstrap, and no theming, so you know what it looks like. That's why I put the demo up here and no. And yeah, so there is a lot of things to improve, but we have a foundation. At this point we could use a lot of help and translation, although we have a lot of things, but a lot of ways to improve how people use it and how they could show it to other people. And of course we try to be the software for an appliance for ordinary users. It's not at that level yet. We sometimes still need to use the terminal, sometimes still need to find arcane solutions to things that should be known and done already. But we are getting there, and at this moment we are getting 3 new participants that are working full-time on this. There is an Indian non-profit that's called ThoughtWorks, and they're sponsoring the main developer at the moment, Sunil Adapa, and 2 of his colleagues to get this underway. And so if somebody helps out, there is a lot of people also helping out, and this will make your contribution be more in use in an easy way. Back to the main slide. At this point, I would like to say there is a lot of people saying things like, there is no way, what do I have to hide? Well, the point of that is you don't need to have something to hide, you have things to protect. And people telling you you have things to, you don't have things to hide, that doesn't really matter. But the issue is, who do you want to hide some things from? I've got a friend who told me this last week, and I asked him, what exactly do you not want to hide from Kim Jong-il or Trump or whoever? They should just not be in your life anyway. So that's a different way of looking at it. In Holland we had a survey about what do you do in an elevator. It was in the 70s, and one of the main conclusions was scratch my ass. And yeah, that's something that you can do when you're in private in an elevator and nobody's watching at you. So by now we did the whole study again, and the whole answer did not ever come up again. Because everybody knows that thing in there is looking if I'm scratching my ass now. So yeah, at that point, you know that you have to change your ways. And a lot of people, when they are shown it in a way like this, they notice that they have changed what they are doing and why they are doing the things that they do. So I think the need for these kind of projects is getting bigger and bigger. So I would like to invite everybody to come to the summer festival SHA. It's a hacker camp just like the Congress of CCC, but then in summer and as a camping. It's 5 days, and there is a lot of people doing projects there in villages and on the main stage. There is still a possibility to reach in to the call of participation. So, and that way there is still a lot of things that we could do during this summer to get this project, but also a lot of other projects like the COSI, the UNO host, and these kinds of projects, getting them more online. And yeah, I would like to invite everybody to come over there, and maybe we can add some talks, or maybe even a village concentrated on that. And yeah, that is mainly the idea about what the FreedomBox could do. And so I would like to reserve a bit of extra time for questions. So maybe if there are a lot of questions, yes?
Well, first, thanks for your work on the project.
Thank you.
I use it myself. I really like it.
Ah.
And I wonder, so being a pure Debian distribution means that sometimes if you want to use a piece of software that is not yet packaged for Debian, can be tricky. So is it planned, or like a way to have like pluggable applications, so I can create an application for Plinth that essentially uses some binary that somehow happens to be on my system? Maybe I installed it with another repo, or I built it from source or something like that.
It's quite easy to add people. Oh yeah. If we, the question was, if you want to use software that's not packaged yet for Debian, how do you do it? Well, the Plinth is the tool that we use to have a web interface, and it is quite modular. So if you want to, you can easily add modules to it to use the products that you need, but they will not be included in the next stable release of the software. But if you want to use that, there is you can make it as an add-on, and you can also make a derived distribution that a lot of people already are making. So you start off with a FreedomBox, which is pure Debian, and from there on you can add your own parts. And so we will be in stable soon, but the newest part of the development will be going into testing. So at some point people will be asked, go into testing now for the newer features, and they may or may not be included into the next Debian. Like we had Charlie, which is a small application to keep your bookmarks, and it's a really nice application, but in the end it got dropped from Debian, and we had to drop it from from FreedomBox as well. Yeah. Okay, that's short. Yeah.
Yeah, I get you as an advocate for privacy issues.
Yes.
Thank you very much. But I think you're making a test with us as well, because as far as I remember, you made photos at the beginning of the test.
Yes,
so
that's for me.
I would like to have the freedom of saying I disagree with that, and I don't want to be on your smartphone.
Okay, that's good. It's not going to be anywhere on any accounts. So if anybody likes, I'll delete the whole picture. That was just something that I saw somebody do, and I thought, oh, that's nice. So if sorry?
Please delete.
Yeah, okay. I don't mind. So that is making the point in the first place. So if you have privacy issues, you should be able to say something. And if you are talking to people instead of to a big company like Google, it's very difficult to do that. And with a person, you can just come up and say, hey, you personally, I think you're doing something wrong. So I'm really even proud that you guys are saying this, and yeah. Okay. Yes.
Are you making big ports?
Sorry?
Are you making big ports for new software?
I don't understand.
Debian big port.
Backports. Do we use backports in Debian? This is the first time that we are being included in the Debian stable. So we are looking into using that. So if there are Debian devs who are willing to help us out getting into that, that would be very advantageous to us. But we don't have that set up yet. Also because the backports team until now, I think, told us, please come to us when the time's there. But we are planning to do so. To keep people on stable, able to move with the backports, to have some extra features already. But yeah, that is an issue with Debian and the aging of the software during the years till the next Buster release. That's going to be the next tool. Hi.
Do you have an idea how many people have downloaded or are actually using the FreedomBox?
I have no direct contact with the logs, so I personally. Oh yeah, how many people have been using, downloaded, and are using the FreedomBox at the moment? I personally have no info about how much exactly, but I see a lot of people, a number of people in my community that are testing it, and there is some information on the wiki, which is on the freedombox.org. So there is some usage information, but I think at the moment it's a few hundred people at the most. Anyone? Yeah?
How far the email server project? I checked out FreedomBox a couple of years ago, and
yes.
the email server wasn't fully up and running at the time. What's the progress on that?
What about the email server was the question. The email server is still not in. We have Roundcube now to read email, but email servers are very much a moving target. So what is good to use today is not good to use tomorrow. So it's really difficult to keep that up straight. And anyway, is there a way to secure email anyway at all? I think by now we should say that email is just on its last legs, and we have to move on to the next system that is just not so well suited for more and more reading of you instead of you reading the internet. So there is always metadata leaking, and changing that would need email to change its general nature. So in my opinion, I hope there never will be. Yeah, some things just have to die at some point. Yeah. But there are a lot of other protocols and options that are possible to take over its role, and some things from long ago are still current. Like I really like the Quassel core use in FreedomBox. That's one of my main uses, to use IRC, which is also already from the 60s. And that has aged a bit better. But a lot of the old protocols are just not capable of improving to current specs. Anyone? Okay, this is going to be a short talk.
Thank you then.
Okay.